Update. My 24 husband, 32, wants to get boys, but I gave birth to 3 girls. Original post. https www.reddit.com/r/relationship advice/comments/tppPJC/my24F husband 32 UTM medium equals Android app and UTM source equals share. Trigger warning. Sexual abuse. I don't know if you saw my first post. Long story short. My husband wants a boy, but I gave birth to just girls yet. Some of the comments were really helping. Know that my financial status isn't ideal. I have never worked because my husband makes enough money. So I don't have a backup plan. I work on that. But now to the problem. Some of you said he has some issues. Needs therapy. Some weeks ago, nearly after my first post, I talked about therapy. He wasn't happy about it. He isn't think much of therapy. But we did it. We went to couple and private consultings. I know that he hated every minute of it. He don't like to get confronted with his past. Thankfully he didn't complain about it. We went to some sessions and then yesterday was the breakthrough. I'm still shocked. At couple consulting he told us he was raped by one of his female pay teachers. He was 13 at this point. His confidence was not as high as now. She wanted to get pregnant by him. Because he has good genes. He is tall and kind of handsome. When she didn't get pregnant by him, she blamed him in front of all teachers at a meeting in his presence that he can't make boys. She wasn't pregnant with a girl either. Late she was sent to psych ward. Nobody saw her ever again. My husband changed school but never did therapy. He never talked about it. Only his sister knows about it. But he never liked to talk with her. After this consulting we went to have dinner in a restaurant. We talked for hours until the restaurant wanted to close and our babysitter wanted to go home, so we got home and talked again. But more quietly. We conclude that this was maybe his issue. I'm still shocked but happy that he opened up. I hate to say that, but it was the first time I released my husband's childhood traumas. Maybe he has even more unspoken traumas. It's not an excuse for his actions. But I think I understand. We don't really have a plan for the future, but we will continue therapy. It helps him and me. Today I told him that we will get a 4th girl. This time he was way more chill than the last time. Thank you for reading. TLDR. My husband wants sons because of a childhood trauma when a teacher wants to get pregnant by him. WTF is this story? After reading your first post, please stop having kids. After reading this post, the comment about his teacher not being wrong is pretty shitty. Fuck that rapist. Seems like you both are looking for someone to blame. The teacher was wrong. There's no such thing as someone not being able to make a particular gender. It really is very simple. Every child. It is almost exactly 50% chance of either gender. Since you have 3 children, the probability of them being all girls is 1/2. 3 so 1 in 8. It is really not that rare and nothing uncommon. Given his story and history, I would be suspicious of why he wants a boy so badly. Some dads, you just know why. They love sports, outdoors, etc., and feel like having a boy would line up with their interests and provide more opportunities to connect with their child. I feel like his desire to have a boy is something different. A way to erase his past and experience the life he didn't have. Perhaps he has other demons related to his trauma. I would not try for another child. Ever again. Especially a boy. TBH, his teacher wasn't wrong. What an awful, disgusting thing to say. Your husband was raped as a child. Finally feels comfortable to talk about it. And you think that's an even remotely appropriate thing to say? Stop having children. God forbid one of your daughters is ever assaulted and you side with their rapist saying, well, I understand why he wanted to RPE my daughter. My daughter is attractive and has good genetics. Quote, "You're a psychopath." The teacher was wrong. You only have 3 children. Have 12 girls in a row and then we'll talk about not being able to make boys. The chances of having 1 girl is 50%. The chances of having 2 girls in a row is 25%. And 3 girls in a row is 12.5%. 12.5% is a pretty high number. Statistically speaking, it's 1 in 8. That means that for every 8 families that have 3 children, you'd expect one of them to have 3 girls. Even if you were to have a 4th, the chance of baby being a girl, too, would be 6.25%, 1 in 16. This is pure chance. It's not about not being able to make boys. You can't make boys because you lack the vital Y chromosome, but your husband has that. Nothing in this post is okay. From your writing style and the events that you have described, I'm fairly certain that you guys are South Asian. I am South Asian, and this sounds similar to a lot of stories that I've heard from my family and friends that live back in India. What happened to your husband is horrible and heartbreaking. No child, or no person for that matter, should ever have to go through that. I hope that pathetic excuse of a woman rots in hell. That being said, I strongly believe that neither of you should be having any more children. Your husband is severely traumatized and you sound like you have the emotional maturity of a 14-year-old. Is anyone else getting predator vibes from the husband? Dude really got married to a 19-year-old when he was in his 30s. That just really doesn't sit right with me. And honestly, you dad was probably right for not liking the guy. I read your original post where you talk about raising 3 children with the help of the housekeeper. Does your husband not do anything to help in the rearing of your children? Maybe it's just my thought here, but if somebody opened up to me about some horrible trauma they had, I don't think they would be too happy that I immediately told all of Reddit about the whole ordeal. Maybe it's just me. I don't know how to get you to understand that you need to stop having children. You literally just said you're going to have 4th girl even after all of this drama. I mean, WTF. Do you realize there are 8 billion people on this planet and you're making it worse? If you want a boy so bad, then go adopt one. It can happen. Man can be SA too. Y'all should stop having kids. Or stop and save up the ludicrously insane amount of money it takes to go for that. IIRC. It was about 3 years ago now since I last looked at it. Experimental IVF that can supposedly separate the male and female chromosomes, and you can pay to choose if you want a son or daughter. He needs to be happy with the daughters you've given him already and quit being Henry VIII and keep up with therapy, as he seems to be on the right path with that, and I'm glad he was able to have the breakthrough he did. Healing from trauma is a big step at any point in anyone's life and should be more normalized, and it probably won't mean much from an internet stranger, but as a fellow trauma survivor, I am proud of him and the both of you for working on healing. I hope you both continue to find peace together. This seems like a very Stockholm Syndrome-y post. Despite that, I would recommend 2 options. Either you two both go to therapy for this, or separate ways. But I am not good at giving advice, so I will just recommend option 1. I think you really need to reconsider your education, and then your financial independence. Perhaps by having your dad in business, you can ask for a low-paid job to gather experience as you study in the evenings or something. Thing is, based on your original post, you and your daughters are at complete mercy of your husband, who for some reason says he had family issues. And therefore you have no family references to who he is and whether he is being truthful about his story. I'm not sure how is your relationship with your dad now. But I would encourage fighting the distance even if he isn't the greatest fan of your husband. Tomorrow, if something goes wrong, you'll need a strong family.
Fake.
This is fake. Get out of here, troll. That was incredibly brave of your husband. Good for both of you for pulling through. This trauma might have continued to affect his and his daughter's bond for decades. It probably doesn't solve all the issues that you have, but this is a huge step for your family. You know that the gender is determined by the male, right? Why not stop at 3? We are in a climate crisis after all. Male sperm determines the gender.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.